What is up, JGnation? Thank you for watching JGTechBlog. For today's video, we got the 14 Pro. It came out today. A lot of people have got it, but I've got some bad news, and I want to talk about that. But first, do just a quick unboxing of the phone, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the new features on it, why I think that you should or should not get this phone. There's many reasons, and also at the same time we're going to be talking about the cases if they fit from the older model, the 13 Pro 6.1. By the way, this is live, so if you guys do have any questions, put them down in the comment section or in the live chat, and we'll get to the questions towards the end. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and first of all, we have the iPhone 14 Pro. This is the Pro model, not the regular 14. And I don't advise anybody really getting the iPhone 14 because it has the same chipset as the iPhone 13 Pro. Not really a big difference. The 14 Pro at least has the A16 Bionic, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and other new features on it. Let's go ahead and check out this is a 1 terabyte, by the way. So this is the box. If you ordered it online, by the way, it'll come in this box right here. Yeah. Okay. So this is the phone. I've already kind of took off the strip from here and from here. And there it is. And this model is the deep purple. By the way, those in the chat, what's up, KZ? Do you guys have good audio on your end? Let me know if my mic is working properly. So this is the iPhone 14 Pro. And like I said, this is the purple model. I think they also had a space black model. That were the two new colors for the 14. But you see how it already smudges? That's pretty fast, actually, now I realize it. So the crazy thing, and this is why I named it iPhone Pro Sucks, 14 Pro Sucks, because I actually had a lot of people come in today to the store and they were trying to activate their iPhone 14 Pros, but guess what? As you can see, there is no SIM card slots, right? Right here, you have the volume and the power button. Where you have the SIM card slot, or we're supposed to be, you don't have that because they are now doing eSIMs, electronic SIM cards. Now, there is pros and cons to that. First of all, the only pro that I have, that I can think about is that, it's one less place for dust or water to go into the phone. The cons, though, you have a bunch of cons, and this is why I want people to think about it before they got this phone. Let's say you're traveling overseas or internationally, right? Many people, when they get to the airport, they just buy a SIM card real quickly. They pop it into the new phone. They put it into the phone, and they're good to go. You can't do that now with an eSIM. And many countries, they don't even have the eSIMs yet, right? And if there is some countries that do, it's only certain carriers, and those carriers most likely will be charging a little bit more, right? So something that I want to advise is if you do travel internationally, this is going to be a problem. Now, let's say you're one of those people that say, hey, I don't really care because I don't travel that much. But you'll still have problems within the United States. One of those problems is, how previously, let's say, for example, Cricket, right? Cricket, you can just pull out the SIM card, put it in a different phone, and you're good to go. The problem now is that you can no longer do that. So you have to go to a carrier. So you're basically relying on the carrier to swap SIM cards to a different phone, and so many other scenarios where you don't really need to do that, but now it's harder. And people charge. Companies charge for that. If you want to go switch SIM card from one phone to another, they charge like $10, $15, right? I think Metro was doing the SIM swap. Cricket Wireless wasn't, because you could just literally pull out the SIM card. But now this limitation is going to be, have you rely on the carriers. So that I'm going to be talking about this in depth, by the way, in my next video, because I know it's going to be a shit show, seriously, for Cricket, Boost Mobile, and Metro having this eSIM problems, because eSIM is a new technology and is still having a lot of problems. I don't know if you guys know, or any of my followers are on Cricket Wireless. They just started doing it maybe like a week or 2 weeks ago, and I've heard a lot of problems. It rarely works sometimes, and majority of the times they have to switch them to the physical SIM. But guess what? This doesn't have a physical SIM, so you're honestly screwed. What are you gonna do once you have a problem with the eSIM? You're gonna have to reset the phone, go to the Apple Store, etc. It just a headache that could have just been resolved by adding that SIM slot. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna have a whole video about this because it's a huge problem that people are gonna have. By the way, let me know your comments and thoughts about this in the comments. And let me see in the chat right now. We have he said, I have no problem with the eSIM like on the 13S, but I want a physical SIM. Yeah, so I think they should have given an option for people to have the physical SIM or the eSIM, right? And then, by the way, I got to mention that if you do really want a physical SIM right now, you have to buy an international model. I think the ones that are coming out in Canada, those are still having the physical SIMs. But the other ones that are in the US are not. But I have heard that the international models are more expensive, up to $200 or $300 more. I'm not sure if that's only the European versions or not, but that is something to think about. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the phone. And like I said, if you guys want me to talk more about the eSIM problem and why I think this made the iPhone 14s suck, I'll be doing another video. So one cool feature about the iPhone 14 is honestly the camera, or not the upgraded functionality of the iPhone is that, first of all, it has a 48 megapixel camera, and if you could tell, actually it's a little bit larger, and at the same time it's a little bit thicker. It's not like the iPhone 13 models where it was I think only 2 megapixels if I'm not mistaken. At the same time, so you got a 48 megapixel on the camera. I think you have image stabilization, and if you're image optimization, sorry, and then video stabilization for action mode on the video. And also the video in the selfie camera has been upgraded to 12 megapixel, and it also has autofocus. The other cool thing about this is it has satellite connectivity and crash detection. I don't know much or many people that are going to actually use this, but let's say if you get into a car accident, it'll basically kind of realize that you're on a, because I think it has a new gyroscope, so it'll realize that you're in an accident and it will notify the emergency. And the other thing is, if you're like in a place with no cell tower reception, it will automatically actually, it will give you the option of kind of like putting the phone to the sky and kind of figure out where the UI itself will allow you to kind of find if there's a satellite that you can then send messages to dispatchers for emergency services. Okay, and then let me see what else. Of course, the biggest thing that everybody's talking about is the dynamic island. And what's the dynamic island is good for is at the top, it allows you, instead of just having that weird notch, they kind of played around with the software, and now it allows you to kind of see your notifications all at the top. It's kind of a quick plain gimmick with the software. All right, so I see. Let me see if you guys have any questions. The prices actually is less if you count in inflation, which is 9%. Well, yes, the inflation maybe in the US, but then the prices, KZ, for international users, for like in Europe, it's still more. Although you're right, if there is inflation there, but at the same time you have the price difference for the euro and the British pound. That's why it's a little bit more. All right, and then I actually want to say that the iPhone 14 actually does not have the silicon A16, like I said in the beginning, and it's not the 6 gigabyte of RAM. But it's also eSIM. And let me see, what else am I missing here? If you guys have any questions, like I said, let me know so I can cover them. I'm going to be doing a more full-in review. I just did this real quickly, let you guys know that this is one of the reasons if you were planning to go get the iPhone 14, make sure you don't get it from the US if you really need, like, to travel abroad or have that physical SIM card capability. Let me know if you guys have any comments. They raised the global prices. Yep. And Apple's place to force the issue. Exactly. I don't think Apple should have forced it on everybody. I think they should have gave them the opportunity to kind of pick if they wanted the physical SIM card or not. All right, well, it's been great, speaking with you guys. It's been a while. I haven't been back on the channel, but KZ, Mikhail, Scott Thompson, thank you guys for joining me down in the live chat. Anybody else that's watching this in replay, feel free to put any comments you guys have or questions in the comment section. We'll get back to you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.